Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by the My TV Choice app. I am your host Tom Downey, and we got some breaking news for you guys. Robert Quinn, as you can tell by the headline here, is heading to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys and Dolphins have an agreement in place here. The parameters are set. All that's left really is figuring out the exact contract between Quinn and Quinn's agent and the Cowboys. It's going to be a one-year deal with Dallas, and maybe Miami takes some more of the money. Maybe they don't. Maybe Quinn makes it more of an incentive-based deal. We don't have the exact contract details, but it's going to come well down from what the $13 million cap hit Quinn was going to have for Miami this year. That's going to be cut, I'd say, at least in half there. Now, in terms of the trade details, we also don't know exactly what it is. The report from Ian Rappaport is going to be, it's a future late-round pick. I think on the high end, it's going to be a 2024. On the low end, probably in that 2026 range, somewhere in there. And I think what happened, why this deal took so long to get done, I think the Cowboys kind of figured out nobody else was really meeting with Robert Quinn, had a bunch of interest in Quinn given his age and the injury history. But Quinn will come in and I assume start at defensive end or at least play starter snaps for the Cowboys on the edge. That's a key thing there for the Cowboys. Now, we'll get to DeMarcus Lawrence here in just a second and what this means. But my mindset is this. You lost Randy Gregory. Robert Quinn plays the same side of defensive end. Quinn is your Randy Gregory replacement. If you're bringing in Robert Quinn to replace DeMarcus Lawrence, you still got worse. Now, if you bring in Quinn, you finally figure out the DeMarcus Lawrence deal, then you're in good shape. So my assumption right now is that the addition of Robert Quinn does not impact the DeMarcus Lawrence. Because remember, these trade rumors popped up well before the latest around DeMarcus Lawrence and his contract situation. And if you're trying to win games right now, DeMarcus Lawrence, Robert Quinn, Tyrone Crawford, Malik Collins, whatever on third downs, that's a pretty potent front right there, especially maybe you get Randy Gregory back somehow as well. So I am of the mindset that Quinn's addition is more of a Randy Gregory replacement, not so much a DeMarcus Lawrence replacement. Now, I will point out both sides here. That's what we all said about the Allen Hurns signing, and then Des Bryant still got cut. But remember, Robert Quinn plays right defensive end, and it's telling, by the way, that all the reports specifically mention Quinn playing right defensive end here, and that DeMarcus Lawrence plays left defensive end as well. So, again, we do not know the exact trade details. I'm sure we'll get those here in the near future once the deal officially gets finalized, but it's going to be for a future late-round pick. Again, the initial report was maybe a fourth. I think a fifth might make more sense, maybe as low as a sixth-round selection. But in the end, does seem like the Robert Quinn trade to Dallas is going to be done. Now, I see many of you guys mentioning it in there. What does this mean for DeMarcus Lawrence? And there are new reports here. So yesterday's report, of course, was that Tank was going to take 20, then he bumped it to 22.5, and that's where we sit. And then today the report was, actually Lawrence wants 23 plus. And there's a lot of rounding going on here with the numbers because the report from NFL.com's Jane Slater is that, he wants Von Miller's deal plus the inflation amount, which is actually fairly reasonable, but they said the inflation amount was 22%. That's not the inflation amount. It's more like 21.2. That got rounded up. We'll just call it 23 plus. You could say it's 22.5. You could say it's 23.2. In reality, this is kind of what we're sitting at. With Von Miller's deal was 6 years, $114 million. You factor in the 22% inflation, and you're still going to hang out around 12.2, 12.3, 12.4, 12.5, around that number. Now, it's weird to me because this is not how contract talks are supposed to go. When you open up with your first contract discussion, you're supposed to start high and then kind of work your way down to the middle. If the reports are accurate and they're in chronological order, which frankly they might not be, you started at 20, then you went to 22.5, and then today you went to 23. I kind of feel like we're missing some of the timing here in terms of the way these contract reports are going out. But look, find your middle ground. That's my biggest issue here. Look, no one is perfect in these negotiations. There's fault on both sides. The Cowboys should have taken the $20 million offer Tank offered right away. And for Tank, you're not supposed to up your contract as you go along. That's not how negotiations work. Now, maybe the addition of Robert Quinn does provide a little bit of added leverage for the Cowboys, because guess what? The Cowboys had none of it leading into this with DeMarcus Lawrence. So we'll come back to these and some of your comments here as well. But I want to remind you guys, today's show is brought to you by the My TV Choice app. Go download it today at mytvchoice.com. It's available on Android and on iPhone. Instead of commercials during March Madness games, how about chat sports content instead? Go get it today, mytvchoice.com. Now, what would you pay DeMarcus Lawrence? Is $22.5 million per year too much for him? You guys know I think it's a proper amount. I am okay with it. Now he's maybe up to 23. I honestly don't know how much I believe that report. I will say this though, as you guys answer yes or no here. I mentioned it like 2 weeks ago. Contract talk numbers don't leak out unless the sides are far apart. So yeah, I'm at least a little bit worried on that one. But if the Cowboys find a way to botch this, I'm going to be pretty upset. And in the end, you can keep playing the incremental game. Is 22.5 all that different from 23? I don't think so. But just settle it like 21 or 22 or something like that. Isn't that fair enough for all parties involved? Now, if you're just now joining us, Robert Quinn has been traded to the Dallas Cowboys, or at least the agreement is in place here. It's a one-year deal that Quinn will work out with the Cowboys. Exact contract not yet known. Exact trade details not yet known for the Dallas Cowboys. But the expectation is it'll be a late-round pick next year, or a future late-round pick. I assume 2020, likely sitting in round 4, round 5, maybe round 6 if the Cowboys get lucky. Quinn comes in, and for now, he is going to take over at the other defensive end spot. He is not supposed to take over for DeMarcus Lawrence. Robert Quinn plays on the other side of the line that DeMarcus Lawrence plays on. And I think in the end, that's what the Cowboys should try to do if they're trying to win games. Quinn plays right defensive ends. He is more of your Randy Gregory replacement. And even amid injuries in 2016 and 15, he's only missed one the past 2 years. And look, 7.5 sacks average the past 2 years. That's really good number 2 defensive end stats. But if your plan is to, we traded for Robert Quinn, therefore Tank is gone, I think that's a really bad idea if you're trying to win games right now, which why else would you acquire a veteran defensive end? So 3 words or less. React to the Robert Quinn trade. Get those comments flowing in the comment section. We got like 500 of you guys live here on YouTube right now. So let me see those comments flowing in here. Again, we don't have the exact trade details, but it's going to be a future late round pick, probably in that round 4 on the higher end, round 6 on the lower end range. So 3 words or less. React to the Robert Quinn trade. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments section. Keep them flowing here, and I'll respond to some here as well once we end up signing off as well. So again, Robert Quinn heading from the Dolphins to the Cowboys. That is the plan here. The trade parameters are in place. Some minor contract stuff to work out on as well. We do not know the exact money for Quinn, but it'll be cheaper than his $13 million cap hit was going to be this year. To the guy saying Lawrence should take $12 million. Come on, dude. Quinn was going to make 13. Let's be reasonable here. And we don't know the exact trade details. So you're sitting somewhere in that maybe a 2024 next year. I think that's kind of the higher end. And then the lower end is probably a 2026. Somewhere in that range for the Cowboys and Quinn. Again, the latest on DeMarcus Lawrence as well. We're getting pretty weird in terms of the way this reported contract talks have gone. Yesterday's report from The Athletic was he wants 22.5. Today's report, and because of rounding involved, it's listed at like 23.2. It's closer to 23 because 22% is not the true salary cap inflation. You start rounding, you get bigger numbers. We'll say 23 plus million. Typically, you're supposed to go lower and come towards the middle as contract talks go. I kind of wonder if we're getting fed some things a little bit out of order right now. So what should the Cowboys do with DeMarcus Lawrence? Type P for pay him, type T for trade him, or D, as some have suggested, just cut him and rescind that franchise tag and get a future comp pick in 2020. Look, I say you pay DeMarcus Lawrence. I think that's the best outcome for the Dallas Cowboys. If you can't do that, go try and trade him. That's your next best option. Get something back in the end, but here's my biggest problem, and we can revisit this in 2 weeks from now if the sides aren't any closer. We're trying to win games, right? That's the goal for all parties involved. Cowboys want to win games, you guys want to win games, I want to win games. There is no scenario out there where the Cowboys are better in 2019 or probably even 2020, if you trade away DeMarcus Lawrence, you are only going to be worse on the field. And guess what? Your Super Bowl window right now is now. It's open. It's not going to stay open forever. The worst outcome, by the way, is you rescind the franchise tag, because then you get a future comp pick back. At minimum, get something back in a trade. But here's the thing with DeMarcus Lawrence. The market is what it is. And the market says he's worth 21, 22, and you can actually make an argument for 23. If you're throwing out $17 million, you have a bad understanding of the market. So I say pay DeMarcus Lawrence. I know it's a lot of money. Welcome to the NFL and a rising salary cap. If you can't do that, then maybe you do consider trading DeMarcus Lawrence.